Kerryon, was your family pro-Alabama or pro-Auburn when you were growing up?
Really neither.
Okay.
Both of my parents are from Florida. My dad's from Tallahassee, so we were really Florida State fans. My sister married a guy that went to Auburn, so that kind of put Auburn in the mix, and then obviously now I'm here, so now I guess we're pro-Auburn.
Talk about what do you think some of the keys are to have a good game and win Saturday?
First and foremost, we got to limit our turnovers if we have any at all. Defenses obviously feed off of that, so that could be catastrophic. And second of all, we got to stay patient. We realize they're a good defense. They're ranked or whatever they're ranked, and so obviously they're going to be good. But we're up for the challenge, and we've got to be patient. If we get 5 yards, we got to take it. If we get 20, we got to take it. If we get 3, we got to take it. If we get 3 points, we got to take it. If we get touchdowns, we got to take it. So those two things I think will be big points in the game, and if we do that, I have confidence that we can win.
Kerryon, Coach was talking about how the playoffs really began for you guys a few weeks ago after the LSU game. Aside from the obvious, not being able to afford another loss, what's changed in that time?
I'm not really sure. Besides the obvious, I think we just realized that we had a goal to get to the SEC championship, and like you said, we couldn't lose again in order to get there. But we felt confident that things would play out how they should, and they have. And really, when you look back at it, the LSU game, it sucks that we lost, but really, it would have came down to this game either way. One of us would win, and one of us would go to the SEC championship. So really, it didn't have much impact. But I think it taught us a valuable lesson in the terms of finishing games and knowing what we have to do in second halves and putting 2 halves together and all that stuff. So, I mean, really, when you look back at it, that was probably the best thing for us at that time.
Kerryon, there's been a noticeable difference in the third quarter, just mentality standpoint, aggressiveness standpoint. Have you felt that even from Coach Malzahn, from the coaches, and how has that fed into you guys' play?
Yeah, we felt that. That's been like all season, really, we've started pretty fast. For probably 80 or 90% of the games, we've started fast. So everybody knows, everybody at this point is like, that's going to happen. But what we got to do, or what we had to learn, was that it's about 2 halves. So when we come out third quarter, we got to start out the same way we started out the first quarter. And the coaches noticed that. The coaches adjusted themselves to put us on that track. And the players, for the most part, convinced ourselves that that's the most important part of the game. And like I said, we know we can start fast, but we've got to convince ourselves every single game, every single moment that that third quarter is the most important quarter.
Kerryon, when you're running the sweeps and the powers, it seems like you're a very patient guy. You kind of let your blockers get ahead of you. I know as a tailback, you probably want to just run real fast, as fast as you can go. When did you kind of get that ability to kind of be a little more patient with it?
Probably this year. Ever since I played running back, I would have a run here and there where, showed great patience. But this year, I really felt like I put a lot of time in this offseason and watched a lot of people run the ball. And the easiest way to run is to not get tackled. And when your blockers are blocking people, you don't get tackled. So you got to let those guys get out in front of you. O-linemen, they have a lot on their plate. They got to ID the fronts, and they got to know who to block. Then they got to get around and actually block them. D-linemen are moving around and blah, 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 blah. So you got to give those guys time to do what they do. And that's just something I focused on this year, and I think I've done it probably more consistently than I have ever in my life.
Do you still have to think about it, though, each time?
Oh, yeah. It's because at the same time, when you're a run-heavy offense, a lot of people want to bring an extra guy in the box to do this. So, sometimes there's a guy that maybe is not being blocked at all. Sometimes you want to just hurry up, I got to get something before they get me, or blah, blah, blah. But I think if you stay patient and let the box form, it works out better for you.
You said you watched a lot of guys in the offseason. Who'd you watch the most?
Le'Veon Bell, definitely the most. He's the guy everybody knows when you watch him. That guy, he'll literally stop running. He'll just be standing there and let his guys do the work. And I said, well, if it works for him, surely it can work for me here. So it's done. It has this year, and I'm glad I watched that.
Is that scary as a running back, to literally stop all of your momentum?
Yeah, it is. And I used to. Obviously, I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, so obviously I watched him for a while. And I used to think, well, he can do that because he's big, so it doesn't take him much to fall forward to get a couple extra yards. Even if he gets stuffed, he's 225 pounds, he can fall forward. So I used to think, oh, I'm not that big, I won't be able to do it. But it's scary to just stop your feet or wait for it to develop. But all it means is when you see the hole, then you've really got to hit it. And that's what I worked on this offseason was building up that acceleration quickly and getting to the top speed, and it's worked.
How do you work on that specifically?
I did a lot of sandpit, me and a couple other running backs, you know, Cam Martin and CJ, we go in the sandpit 1 or 2 times a week, just going after, doing footwork drills, doing explosion drills, stopping and starting drills. Coach Russell, a lot of days in the summer, obviously working on acceleration and chain sprints and hill sprints. It took a lot, but you know, to see it pay off is very satisfying.
Do you feel like that for you? I mean, obviously you put a lot of work into it, but you always been a great athlete. You always had the glide to you. Do you feel like that's been the biggest thing for you, is that explosiveness?
Yeah, just that explosiveness and that work at the explosion. Like you said, I've always been a tremendous athlete, and sometimes I let myself just live off of that. But you know, it's no coincidence that this was my hardest working summer and this is my best season I've had. You know, that just comes with the work. And I'm glad I got to see that pay off, and now it's a lesson moving forward and something I learned.
Hey, during that Georgia game, I think Todd Gurley was kind of tweeting about you, saying, "Man, this kid could play."
Mm-hmm.
Do you still get kind of big eyes when somebody like Todd Gurley has?
Oh
that to say about you?
yeah. I showed that tweet to Darius Slayton, we're really good friends, and I showed him being a Georgia guy, or being from Georgia. I mean, he went more through the roof than I did. So to see, I mean, obviously I can't tell you everything, you know, just in terms of people who have reached out to me, or, you know, and that you know, I still think of myself as just a small time guy. But some people see it differently, and it's still crazy to think about to this day. You know, I'll never think about Todd Gurley. I watched him run the ball so many times against us, against other people, and just to think, oh wow, he actually knows who I am. I mean, that's crazy.
You have a little bit more free time this week just because there's no class, and what are you doing when you're not doing football-related things?
No, we do not have more free time. Sometimes you'd rather be in class, because when there's no class, it's straight football. I mean, we woke up 8:30 this morning, went to breakfast, went to study hall, went to a special teams meeting. Then we had OD meetings. Now I'm here. Now I'll leave here, go down, get ready for practice, go practice, leave there, do treatment. I mean, by that time it'll be 8 p.m., 9 p.m., your day's over with. So you go to sleep, you wake up, you do it again. But that's the kind of sacrifice you have to make. For a game like this, on a week like this, you want to be prepared as possible. You want to make sure your body is prepared as possible, mentally you're prepared as possible. So the sacrifice pays off.
Kerryon, you're obviously have a lot of appreciation for the offensive line. You live with Markel, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
You hear a lot of offensive line talk. To see what those guys have done this year with all the changes, how impressed have you been with them?
Like you said, with all the changes, it's very impressive. Some line units have one guy go down. They'll have a center go down or a guard go down. It's like, you know, that's the biggest thing, the biggest news message across every board you see. But, you know, D. James went down, AG's moving around from position to position, Casey went down, Mike went down. I mean, that's 3 starting linemen that you know, that's tough for anybody to deal with. But for those guys, that's how the coach to practice as a unit, to play as a unit. Orange and blue guys, first and second string, have to be ready, and I think they have been, and that showed off because, I mean, we'll have a guy go down, we won't miss a beat. You really can't tell. So that's just a testament to their unit, testament to their character and their work ethic.
Very good. All right.
Thank you. I appreciate it.